Aquarius, how are you doing? Let's see what this new year has in store for Aquarius, the Aquarius Collective. Oh, I may have to pause this. One of my dogs is outside. I thought that was them whining, but it's a siren. A siren represents rescue, right? Intervention. So yeah, let me go let him in. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see. Aquarius. King of Pentacles, you'd be dealing with an earth sign. Could be focused on your money, but we also have the Lovers and Judgment. Maybe you're kind of betwixt new love and a new job, or focusing on your career or focusing on love. You might be questioning whether or not you can do both. Depends on what the job or the work is, because if it's part of your divine calling, then your divine counterpart and your divine union is going to be part of that. We have the Emperor, Judgment, the Hermit. Oh gosh, this is like, only you know the answer, go within. And it's like, can someone just tell me, should I go left or should I go right? Because we got the Three of Wands here. So you might have three things that you're like, should I go over here or should I go there? Well, if you go in one direction, then you got another Two of Wands over here. You got another decision, right? When you make a false decision or the wrong decision, it's kind of like telling a lie, right? When you're aligned with your truth, the decision isn't even really a choice between two things, right? When you're divinely aligned with what you want, what you've been manifesting, especially with the Lovers here in partnership, you may get other people that come back in, but I don't think that it's going to be a tough choice. It's like, if I go this way, I know what's over there, right? It's like Anastasia, the cartoon, where she goes, she leaves the orphanage and she's like, if I go, well, I know what's to the left. I'll be Anya the orphan forever, but if I go right, maybe I can find whoever gave me this necklace must have loved me. So maybe something with a necklace, maybe something with like a pendant or a piece of jewelry. But a dog, maybe something with a dog as well. Could be a cancer placements. But, a dog pops out. She's like, send me a sign, a hint, anything. It's like she knows that she really wants to go find her family. Like, that's all she's been dreaming about, thinking about, looking at that necklace about. Like, she's always been looking for her family. Feeling like an orphan, feeling alone, like you don't want to be alone anymore. And I don't think that that's like there's a bit of like desperation in her, but it's like an urgency, but it's not a desperation like she's gonna make poor decisions or anything like that. Because we have Judgment here with the Hermit, so it's I feel like you've been in silence or been in solitude for a long time. And so you've done a lot of introspection. You've done a lot of self-work and mastery where you're like, you've seen all the corners of your caves and you know what's in there. Like, what's in there. Every cracking crevice, nook and cranny, right? And now that can be, self-pleasuring. Like, that could be speaking about that, where it's like, maybe you've just been like self-pleasuring for so long. Like, your body, how to get yourself off, how to do all the things. And yeah, that's great. Like, you know how to do it. You can do it. And if you have to keep doing it, fine. But you know what, you already know what's to the left. And if this is between work, all right, with the Emperor here, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, or if you were the Emperor, Aquarius, you could be dealing with an Earth sign. With the Lovers here. Tell me about the Lovers. Yeah, tell me about the Lovers here. Yeah, it's like a lie though. When you tell one lie, you got to keep telling another lie, another lie. But when you make a choice out of divine intuition, it's like telling the truth. It's a truthful decision. But when you make a decision out of fear, which is a lie, there's another one and another one. You always have to keep making another decision, and like it leads to just forks and forks and forks, and then before you know it, you're like way off your path. And see, one of those wands is behind them. So it's like, I know what's to the left. Like, you already know what's involved with this decision. So I think if a past person comes into the picture, you're going to be like, I already know what that looks like. Right? And maybe it was a very sexually charged and engaging and all that relationship, but there was no stability, right? This person's here to clarify the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is stable, secure. They're in for the long haul. Look how buff that sucker is. Could be same sex. Because of the Emperor and the King of Pentacles. But the King of Pentacles is wearing these heels, which I know that's why heels were invented, was for men. Like brassieres. So funny. So funny. And they're like, these suck. Let's give them to women. Because they suck. So we have Justice, Four of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. Could be dealing with a water sign. But the feminine here in this Lover's dynamic wants, and see, she's almost got like this cup that's like a chastity cup. It's guarded. She's really not going to let anybody into her pool. Unless they have the key. And what is the key? Usually the communication is the key, but for the Queen of Cups, it's going to be water, right? I feel like the feminine is sitting here getting all these offers and everything, but they're waiting for this offer. They're waiting for something out of the clouds, something that they've been thinking about, dreaming about, right? I just, what did I watch? Just Got Mail, or You've Got Mail, where he's making fun of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now, and it's like Both Sides Now, and Meg Ryan is in both Anastasia and You've Got Mail. I don't know why it's Just Got Mail. Just Got Mail. So something was like, well, we got Justice here. Just Got Mail. I feel like you've been waiting for a message for a long time. You've been waiting for communication for a long time, but the communication that you're looking for is going to be of your cups. But yeah, Tom Hanks makes fun of could be dealing with a Scorpio. Is he a Scorpio? Or is he a Virgo? I think he's a Scorpio. I don't remember. But he's making fun of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now, or where she says, it's clouds, illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Which is such a beautiful song. It's such a beautiful song. But yeah, maybe there's something in there. Maybe Joni Mitchell. But we have Justice. Just Got Mail. This just in. I feel like you've got a choice. You've got some messages coming in here. And I was getting the Two of Pentacles when I was like at the beginning with the Lovers, and then maybe the King of Pentacles being about work and using your judgment to, do I have the ability to do both? Two of Pentacles is saying, yes, you have the ability to manage both. And I think that's because they're both kind of dependent upon each other. So if you're dissatisfied in work, if you're dissatisfied in love, this opportunity, this coming together, this message, this communication, this sign or synchronicity hint from the universe is going to reveal. But I think that you have to make the choice. Obviously, you got to use your judgment. We got that here. Justice is also the karmic cycle, like leaving the old cycle behind, coming in for something new. But there's balance. There's dancing, multitasking, balance, health, wealth, abundance coming together with this King of Pentacles. So you may have a King of Pentacles series holding this pentacle. You may have somebody coming in to offer you a job or some type of financial project, endeavor, something financially fruitful. And so the Queen of Cups, who feels very Queen of Swords, but with her cups, very emotionally sort of closed off. And maybe that's why maybe it's not. You could be dealing with because it could be same sex, because we had these masculines here. The feminine could be in her masculine, like, protective mode, because we have the Queen of Swords here, and she's like. I feel like the masculine in this situation, because even if it's same sex, there's a masculine and a feminine. So the feminine is guarded, feels very guarded. So if you're the masculine, don't let that deter you, right? And if you're the feminine, don't let that deter you. Let them prove themselves. The masculine will prove themselves to this feminine. They have something stable to offer, and they're not going anywhere, right? That could be your sign in synchronicity. Like, synchronicity might not be numbers or things like that, but it could be the fact that they keep coming back, and not in a creepy way, but like the fact that they're not going anywhere. They could be the synchronicity. So we have the Three of Wands twice. So there is planning, waiting. This is waiting. Waiting. And you might, what is it? Waiting at Hiroshima, the great movie, Words and Pictures. And that's the difference between saying something and showing you something, right? But it's, yeah, he's a writer, a linguist, he's an English honors teacher, and then there's the art honors teacher, and they have like a war or whatever, but it's like it's a fun war to get the kids engaged, their teachers. I said that, but I forgot what I was. He's reading a poem to the kids, and it's maybe I'll title this that if I remember. But it's like waiting at Hiroshima, waiting all day. And even though they're like waiting in front of a golden sea, this one's kind of like, looks like they're on a hilltop or something. So it's like they're like waiting on a mountain, right? You go to the mountain to get with God. With the hermit, this is like doing the introspection, the self-reflection. This is like doing the divine shadow work. So it's really going within. And so you don't have to go to the mountain to get with God. It can be internal, but so you could just be like holding down the mountain, right? Holding up the mountain. Feeling, the weight of the world on your shoulders, and maybe not, maybe this fear is not like trust issues or anything like that. Like, you want to be shown, right? The Queen of Swords protects the Queen of Cups. But even she, look, she's like crying behind that veil. She's got two swords. Does protest too much. You know, like when people say like, oh, I don't want kids, or I don't even want to be in a relationship. I see it a lot on tarot readings. People are always like, oh, I'm fine by myself. You might be like, yeah, I'm fine by myself. Like the feminine could be in the masculine energy. Could be an earth sign, air, water. Those are the queens and kings that we have. But people like, doth protest too much. You know, they say, oh, I don't want that thing, because that's what they actually want, but they're afraid that they're never going to get it. So that if I say I don't want it, then if I don't get it, then no one will know that it really fucking hurts that I don't have it, right? It's like a self-protective thing, a deflection. And so like the feminine could be in this like hyper independent mode in their masculine energy, because they need somebody who's going to prove that they can be soft, that they can relax into their divine feminine, right? And yeah, it's idealistically, you want both to be in the Emperor and the Empress. And I don't think that the feminine is not in their Empress mode. Like, I think they have all the queens here, but you really have, like, you have to go through some kind of like a gauntlet, right? And masculines out there that are like, oh, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I'm not doing that. That's too much work. That's fine. And this feminine probably has gotten that a lot. Where, you know, you haven't interacted with masculines who were willing to put in the work, or you were told you were too much, which is basically a flip version of saying you're not enough, right? So if you feel like you're not enough, then you might be deflecting by saying, well, I don't want love anyway. Because history has shown you, your history and experience has shown you that it's not possible. I'm not worthy enough. No one's willing to put in that work for me. But we've got this Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this king, this is an emperor. And the emperor does not pursue anybody except the Empress. The Hanged Man could be Pisces. This reminds me of that movie, Drop Dead Fred. So maybe the name Fred, maybe somebody's a ginger, but where his like head is, he's always like dropping down. Or even that movie Little Monsters, where they're under the bed. That one, I haven't seen that since I was really young. But I remember it used to make me feel very disturbed. Like, it made me feel sick to my stomach or sad to my stomach. I don't remember why, because I just remember there's a kid and the monster's under the bed. But I think maybe there's some kind of like body horror element. Like, do they hurt him? If I see anybody like getting tortured or hurt or like ripped to pieces or like body horror stuff, that like fucks with my stomach. Especially if it's like, you know, when you're a child. I feel like this masculine is very protective, but they're playful. They're going to just like keep coming back. But see, like the monsters in the bed and Drop Dead Fred, it's like imaginary friends. And Pisces is a very imaginative and romantic sign. Their energy is very playful. And I just did their reading, which was about like needing to play a little bit more and be light. I mean, you could have a Pisces placement, but just that energy of Pisces energy. It's like somebody who, they do things their own way. There's no time's not of the essence. They don't feel, they're going to take their time, right? And this person could be very like esoteric or metaphysical. And is that an eagle? Holy shit. I think it is, but I can't tell. It could be just the light hit a buzzard in a way that looked like it was white, but that would be so cool. But eagle, hanged man, kind of dropping out of nowhere, imaginary friend. This person could be really, I don't want to say spying on you, but they could be just watching. Like they've been watching you for a while. And we don't have the Page of Swords, so I don't feel like it's someone who's just watching just to watch. This person is like in the major arcana, and they have the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. This person has something, this masculine has something very, and with the Sun and Justice. Like this is the karmic justice. Justice twice could be a Libra that you're dealing with. But this person, which the Emperor as the masculine, if it's a male or masculine Libra is the Empress, right? So you could be the emperor who's waiting for someone to pursue, who's waiting for your empress to pursue, right? But I get this, like, that they're watching, like they have and also it could be an air sign because the eagle flying. But this is definitely your person that's going to come in. I mean, you're probably, again, with this choice, you're probably going to be tempted. I don't know that you're even going to be tempted, though. I don't really get temptation. There's no devil. There's nothing lurky here. We've got very strong major arcana, so I feel like someone might be a page of swords and watching this and being like, right, it's like, is it an eagle? Is it a buzzard? A buzzard, I love buzzards. I think that they're cool and I think they're quite cute. But buzzards are like scavengers, right? They just like feed off the dead carcasses and we thank them for that. But there's something about like a buzzard that's sort of lurky and creepy, whereas an eagle, you see an eagle and it's like, how beautiful, right? It's an eagle, but eagles do the same thing, right? So it's, I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess there's like a false emperor. And I think in a different place, if you hadn't done all of this work, if you hadn't succumbed to the idea of just going it alone and doing all of that work and doing your shadow work, doing your introspection, because again, I don't see the devil here. I don't see Page of Swords. I don't see anything lurky or creepy. I feel like there's very decisive energy here, right? This justice is like, the swords are separate, right? There's, whereas like this Queen of Swords, because this is like Two of Swords, this is a decision. This Queen of Swords is a little bit, I don't want to say indecisive, just because, but she is, it's like she has multiple barriers, multiple gauntlets, right? This Queen of Cups over here has these sphinxes, right? The Sphinx, there's a lizard. The Sphinx, is it the Gateway? The Southern Oracle in the Neverending Story, where Atreyu has to really prove himself. He has to prove himself a worthy, and there's like a large scorpion cloud right there. Something with clouds. You could be very daydreamy. There is something very dreamy and daydreamy and almost angelic about this connection. Like it's going to come out of nowhere. It's going to come out of the clouds. But I feel like the masculine has been watching the feminine. And maybe they're just like waiting for the opening. Like they're waiting for, and if you're the feminine, that could be your advice, is like, maybe tap back into your childish playfulness and get to where these swords are open. You still have two swords, right? But they don't have to be crossed over your heart space, right? You're just, you still have them. And you know how to use them, and you're still decisive. It's like, you're not going to fall for the same old bullshit. And maybe you just need to hear that. Maybe you just need to hear that even if somebody else comes back in, and that could be your fear, is like, oh, if I open up or like show the world that I'm available, then that means all the dregs and all the past people, and they're going to get in. But I think you need to trust the work that you've done, that you are strong enough. You've cut those cycles, you know? And so if there's just fear involved, fear is easy. This is the only devilish type energy, and that's just because she's crying, and I think that there's some fear there. And that is the only kind of devil energy going on. Ten of Wands, Four of Swords. An ending and rest. But this fear, I feel like this fear is more like, is this going to happen? Is my person going to come in? Because maybe the concept of what you have is like an imaginary friend. Maybe you've like grown up imagining this person, talking with this person, dreaming of this person, playing with this person when you were a child, right? But then, like, inside out, bing bong, like, they sort of faded away into your memory. And I think along the way, maybe you just started to kind of doubt that this, what feels huge or so ethereal or angelic or like beyond reality, like what is reality, is actually what's coming in for you. And so this veil could be like, I never thought this was going to happen. And this could be like the wedding veil. Like, you never really thought that your person was going to show up. Tell me about this Queen of Swords. King of Cups. Could be dealing with a water sign, but Six of Cups. Six of Cups is that soulmate. And it's very childish. It's very sweet. Could be somebody that you know from childhood, right? You haven't seen them in a long time, right? And that could be that eagle. Like, they've been watching you. I feel like that they've been watching you, but they've just been watching for the opening, like waiting for the right time, because the Emperor is not going to come in unless they know that they're going to be accepted, right? Because they're a little, their ego isn't fragile, but there is a bit of like an arrogance to the Emperor, right? Where they know what they're worth and they're not going to settle. And because they know what they're worth, and now there's like this big eagle cloud. Something with clouds. If you're looking for signs and synchronicities, maybe the clouds are going to give you that. But again, I think this person is going to be your synchronicity from the clouds, right? Like, your person, your cup of love is coming out of the clouds, and that's going to be your synchronicity. That's going to be your proof. This Ace of Pentacles coming out of the clouds, this King of Pentacles to bring that Ace of Pentacles, that's your proof. Your proof is in the pudding. Yeah, this is so sweet. The Six of Cups. I just feel for this Queen of, I was going to say Queen of Cups because I do feel like it is the Queen of Cups. And maybe you have a Cancerian placement. Because she's like crying there. And Cancer will be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. You know, but then they'll just like cry themselves to sleep. And there's this like tear there. It's I feel this like chokehold on the feminine. That's like, oh God, am I ever gonna meet my person out there? Is anyone ever going to fight for me, for little old me? So it just like breaks my heart for this feminine, but my heart is not broken because you've got the Emperor and the King of Pentacles and the Sun here and the Lovers and Justice twice. Like, you've got karmic balance coming in here. Yeah, that Two of Wands. This is someone they want to plant their roots. Like, they've been waiting they like your soil and they want to plant their layers in there. Like, they're willing to peel back the layers. They're willing to dig deep. It's the Two of Wands, so it could be, that choice or whatever. But I think that all roads lead to you, is what I'm getting here. All roads lead to home, is the saying, right? And this person is your home. They may be from your hometown, right? You may actually know them in the 3D or have met them in the 3D, because this could be like past love, or they are like your best imaginary friend. You've always felt them. You've always known, even if you didn't have the words or the concept to put it into any sort of description, you've always known that you were in a twin flame connection. You've always known you had a twin, a friend, your person was out there. But I think that the world has a way of making you doubt that a little bit, or just be a little unsure if that's ever going to come together for you. Is it possible? King of Wands. Is it possible? Right? It's possible, and it's plausible, and it's likely, and it's coming in, right? Your person's coming in. You know, and with that Queen of Swords, it's like the only wrong decision you make, the only wrong decision is the one you don't make, right? So I feel like if you just keep moving forward, if you just keep taking new opportunities, like all roads lead home. So no matter which road you take, as long as you stay in your truth, as long as you move humbly and with gratitude and grace, it's gonna lead home, right? As long as you're not choosing the easy road, as I say, easy route and road at the same time, so it turned into like, I'm from Alabama. When you take the easy route or the easy road, that's usually the devil. That's usually the ego trying to make things easy. The divine path is not easy, but it is simple. It's very simple. One foot in front of the other. I'm getting a lot of like children things, childlike energy here, and references to like cartoons and stuff. And that's just where my energy's at. So maybe that's where your energy is at too, as I'm channeling for your collective. And maybe that's where the whole collective is, because Christmas time and all of that just passing in the new year, and we want to start anew, and we feel new, and we're hopeful, like children are. We're hopeful and idealistic and romantic and dreamy, because it's like, we have a whole new year. What are we going to do with it? You know, and then February hits and we're like, oh, okay, I see. It's same old, same old. But I'm getting that, is it the year without a Santa Claus? Right? Or Santa Claus is coming to town. Where it shows Kris Kringle as a young man, and he's a ginger. Something with a ginger. There's a ginger out there that's listening. And there's that song, put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. So that's that 10 of Wands, like leaving something. You can't take it with you. If you have those two swords crossing, that means that there's a decision you're not making. That means there's some kind of attachment or something that, and it could just be fear, right? It could be doubt. It could be the lie that you're telling other people, or yourself even, that, oh, I don't really care. I don't care if my person comes in. Care that they come in. Like, you don't fake the front. They're coming in, right? And if you're saying, oh, I don't care if they come in, well, then why would they come in, right? Would you want to go somewhere that you're not wanted or that you're not cared for, right? So there's something with the Hanged Man and that Queen of Swords is like changing your perception and your perspective on speaking your truth, because the Queen and King of Swords is all about communication, their thoughts, their words. They're the intellect, they're truth tellers, right? And so it's like, you need to just be vulnerable, show that you have softness to you, and it's okay. You're not going to be hurt again. Nobody can hurt you if you're speaking truth, right? Light prevails. So if you're worried that, oh, I'm going to get hurt again if I speak my truth, you got hurt before because you weren't speaking your truth. You might have been overly emotional or giving to somebody, or maybe you thought you loved them, but it was not unconditional love that you were giving to them, because you weren't reading the signs because of the vibrational frequency that you were on. You were not reading the signs that they were not actually ready and that they didn't have unconditional love to offer you. So you were going into this with a false pretense, which means you went into it conditionally, and you received, like attracts like, you received conditional love, and then you were like shocked and disappointed and flabbergasted by the fact that you didn't get what you wanted, right? But you weren't being truthful then. So there's something about like self-deception, where you just be honest, just be real, be vulnerable, you know, like you've made it through whatever period, which feels kind of like a long period of time that you've been single, that you've been in solitude. You've made it through this fine. Like, and if you're going to be single or in solitude for the rest of your life, you'll be fine. It's better than being in something that's conditional, in something that's toxic. So shift your frequency, shift your perspective about having gratitude and having grace for where you are, and being vulnerable and honest in where you are, because whatever facade that you're putting up, it's not serving you, it's not helping you, and if anything, it's like deterring your person, right? Because they're mirroring that back to you. We had 35:53 on the clock there, so they're mirroring back to you exactly what you're putting out there. Like attracts like. So if you want fun, playful energy, and you're consumed with the fact that you're like alone in your house, like play with yourself. But really, play with yourself. And with that self-pleasuring talk from before, there are ways that you can, and maybe I'll do a video on this because I talk about this. I touch on this. I touch on it occasionally. But there are ways to use masturbation as a form of manifestation, right? Instead of like imagining false people or 3D depictions of people or porn or whatever you're using, those are lower vibrations, right? Because you're attached to the physical idea of somebody versus the energy of what you're trying to call in. So you can focus on the feeling, right? Use the third eye, right? And listen to the senses, the 5 senses. What do you want them to feel like, smell like, taste like, sound like, right? What are those things? And imagine that, and instead of what they look like here, and unless you have a 3D depiction, maybe you've always dreamed of like a ginger or something, like maybe there's something that is like a physical trait that you have imagined since being a child, and there are 8 billion people on this planet, right? The likelihood of you calling in the perfect person for you, especially when you're on a twin flame journey, is very likely. There's plenty to choose from, right? So if you really want a ginger, or if you really want someone with green eyes or whatever, you can imagine that, right? But maybe not constructing the whole thing so literally, but maybe just what you see, right? Maybe they have a certain birthmark or tattoo, or maybe you can just see color, right? Color that you associate with them, right? There are a lot of ways to do that, where you tap into the 5 senses to open up to the 6th sense, right? To channel the 6th sense, channel from the 5D, from the ethereal. You're trying to pull somebody out of the clouds, right? You're trying to pull your person out of the clouds. It's not pulling them. That sounds very aggressive and forceful. It's guiding them out of the clouds. It's getting yourself to a frequency where they just have no choice but to gravitate towards you because you're their match, right? So maybe there's something in there. Hopefully there was something in the reading for you. The Queen of Swords, bless your heart. I feel like maybe you're from the South, but I get this like, oh child, bless your heart. I feel like if there's anyone around you that you can ask for a hug, or if you have dogs, you can hug yourself. I feel like you need a hug. I just want a hug, which if the feminine Aquarius is the is the Queen of Swords. If it's the Aquarius that's the Queen of Swords, then good luck. Aquarians are like Theo Vaughn says, they're hard to pet. They might reveal something, but then they're gone. They might like reveal a vulnerability, and then you just won't hear from them for a long time. So you guys are funny. I have a lot of Aquarius females around me. You guys are hard to pet. So, but maybe let somebody pet you, okay? Or pet yourself, and hold the frequency of vulnerable truth so that your person can recognize you and come in. All right, and then you don't have to be lonely anymore. You don't have to be alone anymore. You don't have to be holding up those swords and be in your masculine energy and be worried that it's not going to happen. Right? Know that it's going to happen. Say that it's happening. Like affirm that you are there. That you are. I am vulnerable. I speak truth. I attract loved ones easily, effortlessly, right? So maybe there's something in there for you. Either way, thank you for watching, and until next time, I wish you well.